Ladies and gentlemen, I am Corione, your witch in residence on YouTube, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out to tonight's charity stream. What we're going to do tonight is I intend to entertain you all with a couple of readings, a little bit of foretelling the future. Here's how this is going to work tonight.
With a couple of readings.
Oh, Petey, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
All good. Here's how this is going to work tonight. If you would like us to tell your fortune on screen, you can provide us with a super chat, and we will go ahead and read what you've put in the super chat as for what you would like to hear about, and we will go ahead and read it. As you can see tonight, I have put together something a little bit special. I have put together our separate camera for our board, so you guys will be able to see what we are reading in real time and what it looks like. This is my tarot set right here, but I also have my runes. Here, I'll pull them out. Here we go. We'll pull out the runes a little bit here, right? So we've got our rune set. And if somebody's got a really dire need, really needs to see a very clear picture of the future, I have something incredibly special with us tonight. It is a mirror made purely from volcanic glass. It's called a black mirror. This concept is similar to a crystal ball, but the idea is the black mirror is treated in such a way that it allows me to peer a little bit beyond the norm. Okay? Oh, we've got Why You Hating, and She's a Glass Act in the chat tonight. Guys, how you doing? It's good to see you. And Proto Badger has already sent in $5 donation for Child's Play for the kids. Proto Badger, thank you so much for starting it off. Means a lot. That is awesome of you. So yeah, guys, we are basically all set to read tonight and provide you guys a little bit of fun and have a little bit of enjoyment here tonight. Now, guys, I do want to point out, because we do have two really incredible creatives in tonight. Proto Badger is an amazing bladesmith. I have some examples of his work, and it's fantastic. And She's a Glass Act is actually a glass artist that does etched glass work. She has some fantastic pieces. She's absolutely amazing. Here we go. We've also got Nemesis of Eden. Wonderful to see you here. And Stephanie Genesec.
Stephanie, yep.
Stephanie, it's wonderful to see you here. I appreciate you all coming out. As I've said, this one's an important one. It means a lot to us. Child's Play is a charity that is near and dear to my heart. I think it's near and dear to everybody on the council's heart. The idea being is they put video game consoles into hospitals so kids have something to do while they're waiting treatment. To me, it's a super important thing. I've posted
that's
the
also
about
the
for the
honest-
charity. Oh, yep.
It's for also the kids that are actually just dying. Like St. Joseph's, like those kids, they have nothing better to do, and their family's already spending every dollar on treatment and care. This group sends those kids an Xbox, sends those kids a Switch, a PlayStation, and is like, here, parents, give your kid a billion worlds because they can't have this one.
That's it. So, we feel, it's super important for this. It's near and dear to our heart. I'm going to encourage you guys, please, consider giving generously to the cause. And if I can entertain you guys while I'm doing that, that would be wonderful. Nemo 2, it's wonderful to see you as well. Hey to everybody. So why don't we start it off with, something a little fun, something a little silly, something that perhaps Stephanie, will enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what Star Wars is going to give us for the next year.
Good one. Starting off with the hard ones. All right.
Well, who knows what we'll come up with. I think it's a good way to start it off, something a little fun. All right. Stephanie's already all, laughing away. I think that's great. Right. And let's enjoy this. Let's have a good time tonight, right? Everything tonight is going to the kids, and let's show them how much we care, right? Okay. So, Star Wars for this year. Here we go. Whoa, before we go too much further, Nemo 2 with a $49.99 super chat. I wish it could be more. Nemo, if you have anything you would like to have read tonight, please let us know in the chat. But thank you so much for your
he
generosity.
gets 2 readings.
Yeah, like whatever you want to know.
If you want to read, you can read. If you're not satisfied with your first reading, the second one's free.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Dear universe, I reject your first interpretation of my life.
There you go. So, guys, for the first Star Wars tonight, the 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of they call it shields or stars or what have you, is or Nemo 2 she. Okay, there we go. The 10 of Pentacles typically revolves around great wealth. Great wealth is usually a sign of abundance coming. So sounds like we're going to get a lot more projects this year. What's stopping it? Well, what we see here is the 8 of Swords. Now, the 8 of Swords typically is more or less you stabbing yourself, for lack of a better term. You're chained by your own ambition.
Not firing Kathleen Kennedy.
I didn't say that. I'm simply reading what it's saying, okay?
Yeah, I know you didn't. I'm just giving my live interpretation as we go.
All right. Ooh. Okay. So the 5 of Wands, which is basically the idea of moving from where you are now to moving forward, to questing forward, to pushing, to striving. This is the long-term goal. They want to move forward with actually getting on board with their ambitions, with the wealth, with getting what they need done.
This is really weird how this is lining up with Sparrow's reports.
Unfortunately, it appears that the 5 of Cups, or the sins of the past, are creeping up on them. And ultimately, at the hands of the past, they will face their judgment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think if there's a better interpretation there of
go woke, go broke.
I mean, you could take that as what you want, guys, but I think that's a pretty good one. All right. Here we go.
Just do Heir to the Empire with a younger cast for Luke, Han, Leia, and Lando. And, there's your rebooted trilogy, because it takes place right after 6. Nothing has to be rebooted. We can just do the Thrawn trilogy and go from there.
Yep. And Nemo 2, I'm actually very familiar with the Nightwish song Nemo. Although personally, I am more of a fan of The Islander. But I do love the song Nemo. Also, I'm a big fan of the album Dark Passion Play. I thought it was really well done. All right. So, yeah, guys. So, here we go. So, Stephanie, looks to me that that does, no matter what they do, they're screwed by the past because Kennedy in name only is still there. That's possible, right? So we'll have to go with it. So here we go. All right. So the joining us as well now, we have Skogli Jotun. Skogli, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing all right. It's always a struggle to get up at 6:30 after a 2-day gaming bender.
Fair enough.
Yes, it is a hard life we live, us gamers.
Mm-hmm. But still, it's wonderful to have you here tonight. We've missed you, so it's great to have you back. So, okay, guys. To catch people up, we're already at $55 raised for Child's Play. So, guys, thank you so much. Let's keep it going. Let's see how much we can raise here. Stephanie, Scogli is in the fantastic, brilliant land, lovingly referred to as Alberta, which I would assume is just off of Jotunheim, which to me makes the most sense, given how giant Scogli actually is in real life. For those who haven't met him, Scogli Jotun, which literally is a Jotun or a giant, Scogli, he fits the bill. Like, he has a minivan, and he barely fits in the minivan, right? Like, he drives that thing like you see a tall guy drive a Volkswagen Bug. Like, it's something else. So, all right. So, guys, do we have any other questions anyone is particularly interested in asking quite yet?
No, Stephanie, Scogli's in Canada.
Yeah. So, all right.
He's just a night owl type, kind of like me. I'm like a mid owl, would be the most accurate. I like to go to bed around 2 or 3, usually ends up being 6. And I like to get up around noon, usually ends up being 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a corporate owl. Like, I'm an owl that's lived at the zoo too long. So, like, I like to be up at night, but I'm usually just like ticked off all day during the day.
Yeah, with you got the kids and our mommy. Oh, look at the owl! It's trying to sleep, dear. I'm gonna throw popcorn at it.
Yeah, I live in opposite land. Getting up at like 6:30 is like PM is like getting up at like 4:30 in the morning for me.
That's
here we
the
go.
Oh man.
I have to be at work. I'm just getting up like 2 hours early before I normally would to head to work.
So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us tonight as well is the lovely, the amazing Cameron Pasha, and he has put in a request for a reading on his Ottoman Empire project. Now, Cameron, first, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate that. That's a wonderful gift you've given tonight for Child's Play, and I know how you feel about my runes, so let's go ahead and do a reading for you.
The runes, for those who don't know it, runes are very, very powerful. I've experimented with them, and I think they're some of the most powerful divination tools in history.
Well, Cameron, what you may or may not know is since I went from Corion the Gray to Corion the White here, my runes got a little bit of a power bump as well now. So what we thought was the peak of a power here has gotten even better.
All right.
All right. So let's see what we got. Here we go. So if you guys just want to vamp a little bit while I'm getting this set up.
Well, I don't want to disturb you. I want to keep you focused.
So, Ottoman Empire project. Is that all you can say right now?
I mean, I've shared bits and pieces over the past year with on various things. It's a product I'm developing. I won't reveal the company yet. It's been sold to a studio and to a network. It is development at a network, which is a blessing, right? And it is an epic series.
Sorry to interrupt. Why are you hating? $10. Thank you for them kids.
Yeah. So
okay,
this is an epic series set in the Ottoman Empire. I think Michael has read the script. I think you have, Alexandra. You've read it.
Yes, I've read it.
Yeah, so you know the context of it.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Let's see what happens.
So the first rune that I drew initially is straight up associated with wealth. So yeah, so that's a very, very good sign.
Can you give us the
least
room
it sounds like it's funded.
Can you give us the room names in Futhark?
Yeah, I can. I've just got to give me 1 second because I got to kind of switch gears on that for a second.
Okay, well, again, I don't want to distract you. I'd rather get the reading. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. So what we're getting here, let me pull up a classic set. So we're going to start out with Fihu. Okay. Then we're moving to Ingwaz. Then we move to Uruz. Then Tyr. Then Ainwaz. And then Solwal.
Now this is done in a spiral technique. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, this is okay. The way I've been taught to read runes is to go on a journey with it. Okay. And now a lot of times what normally would happen would be you would have a ring like this. You would shake the runes and drop them, and whatever fell inside the ring would be what you would read. Now, I read differently because of how I was taught how to read initially, because I was taught the ring method, but I was also taught to take it on the journey. Okay. And this is kind of the journey method where you kind of spiral.
Have you developed your own synthesized method as a result?
I've done both. I tend to use the journey because I find it gives a better reading as to what's going on. Okay.
Fair enough.
Now,
so we start off with the first one. You said it's related to wealth.
This is related to wealth. And then our next one here tends to be related to creative endeavors.
Okay.
What I'm seeing here is that we have a project of not just relating to your own spiritual experience. Okay. Because the Tyr rune is very, very much associated with a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you know, there's a lot of spirituality in that script.
Right. But we're also getting a lot of, there is not going to be one studio interested in your project. There's going to be several. And I think it's because, based on what I'm seeing here, see, at the start of the journey, this is not going to be the first successful project that gets noticed this year.
Okay.
It most likely will be the second.
That's interesting. So the other one we've talked about, the Babylon project, might be possibly the first.
Exactly. What I think is going to happen, based on what I'm seeing here, is that first project will get noticed, will get a lot of attention. And then somebody will come to you and say, hey, have you got anything more? And then you will be taking them through, showing them your spirit, showing them your culture.
Sure.
And that is where success and power is going to come from.
Okay.
So
Power, is that the final journey, final rune on the journey, the one you're holding?
Yeah, that's what leads to the power of your story. Now,
is that general power or is that authoritative power?
this is the power of the story. Okay? Because all of this is about the story.
Correct.
It's about the journey that this is going on. It's a timeline almost, right? So the timeline is the first project takes off. This becomes your spiritual project, your passion project. What matters deeply to you. It finds success, and that success leads to the power for you to be able to gain more insight into it. Okay. So I don't think it's going to be the first project that takes off this year, but it could very well be the second.
Well, the good thing is, so I'm going to take all of that. So I'll give you a little bit of context, which may help deeper into the reading. So I just got off the phone before I came onto the video with my producers on this Ottoman project. And we've been waiting for 5 months because I've been able to work on it, right? I had handed in the pilot, which you've read, and the second script before the strike. And then there's been silence and the strike was over and we still don't know, are we moving forward? So thankfully I heard back just before I came onto this video that they're going to give us some notes on the second script, hopefully next week. And the good thing is, number one, that's moving because, this network I'm working with has just canceled a bunch of shows. So they could have canceled mine. They haven't. That's good. And so they're advancing with some notes. And the other thing that was interesting is, so as mentioned, there's a studio that's the bankroll of the project, and then there's the network. That's how television works. The network then distributes it, right? The studio finances, the network puts it on the air, and so they're different companies in different conglomerates that came together for this. Now, the interesting thing that had happened was I just learned is that the president of the studio has asked to set a luncheon with the executives at the network because they really want to make a personal push to try to get this thing on the air. That's very rare. I've really never heard of, the
Well, that's
president of
excellent.
a studio, saying I'd like to sit down with these executives. Again, these executives I'm dealing with are not necessarily the top executives in the company, so they're kind of flattered too, right? Because they're like, the president of the studio wants to meet us, sure. So hopefully that will grease some of that. But but that's going to be its process. Like, I have a rewrite to do, I have stuff to do, but then I have this other project that you're familiar with that is in the marketplace right now. So I hope that sells and that maybe creates momentum for this one.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. So Why You Hatin's got the next question up. He graciously
Thank you. It's wonderful reading.
Oh, of course. Why You Hatin graciously generated $10 to the to Child's Play to ask, will there be more UFO hearings in Congress and interesting sightings in 2024? Well, let's find out, shall we?
Should we ask Cameron first? He seems to be insider knowledge.
No, I wouldn't say an insider now, but I'm delighted. Oh, here we go. Start off with lovers. No, I'm very interested in this topic, so I think it's a great question. I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was mostly joking about Sparrow. Saying, do you have a CIA Sparrow?
No comment. Let's focus with this guy.
So, we're opening with The Lovers right then and there, which, usually speaks to a successful union for these UFO hearings.
Which does make sense in terms of where we're at so far, because the fact that a lot more Congress people are being more layman about it rather than being high and mighty about it. That's
we do have a departure message to address real quick.
Oh yeah, Stephanie Genesex has got to get to bed. Stephanie, thank you for the donation to Child's Play, and good night, and
Sleep
wonderful
well.
as always to see you. Okay, what's holding it back is the Two of Wands, or basically, if you think of wands as like the progression card, right? So what's holding them back is the urge to move forward, right? They kind of want to keep things in the status quo. Ooh. So let's position this a little bit so we can see it well here. I'm going to put it over here. So
it's a really lovely deck. What kind of deck is this? It's really nice. Or is it a combination?
So this deck is from White Wolf Publishing. They put it out for one of their RPG books, but I kind of co-opted it into my deck because, the art just spoke to me. And, I love the style of art. I love the kind of the darker imagery on it. It just kind of appeals to me. But it's a very, very functional, very, very well in tuned deck with me. And the Four of Cups.
I was gonna suggest it during readings if you wanted to kill the name tags that give you a little more space to work with on the screen.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I would go ahead and do that.
Brand should have it. It should be under brand.
Okay. Not too sure how I'm going to do that here, so just give me 1 second. Edit name and studio. Let's see. I can't really do that from in here, I don't think. So we'll have to leave it for now.
What feature it's on, but all right, yeah.
So the Four of Cups tends to mean that not only like somebody is being gifted darker knowledge. So if they're doing readings for the 2024, I think they've already got the information that they need to move forward, and it terrifies them. Oh, this is one you don't normally see. This is typically a card that relates to destruction. If I had to guess, I am going to say that the investigation itself is going to tear somebody's life apart. So,
are we talking like the cigarette smoking mans of the world who have been hiding things?
It could be, or it could be some of the witnesses that are testifying.
Could it also be the CIA itself? the people hiding it as a whole, could that entity finally be destroyed? Could the veil of the entity be destroyed? Could that be?
That's
God, I hope it's the Federal Reserve.
That's possible. And after all this destruction, you were talking about the smoking gun. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Here, I'll turn it so that it can be seen really nicely by the camera here.
Well, what are the synchronicity of that? I just mentioned the cigarette smoking man. You got the smoking gun. I mean, that's the synchronicity.
Yeah, this is the lone man standing after all that destruction. And typically, I would associate this card, the 7 of Pentacles, as, I guess the best way to put it is getting value out of the final truth of it. So effectively, being the last man standing. So I think if we're going to see something come out of the congressional hearings involving UFOs, my guess would be there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get exposed. There's going to be a lot of people that are hurt.
It's the end of civilization as we know it.
I feel fine about civilization, but
Same.
what I'm saying
No,
is,
as we know it doesn't mean the destruction of every aspect of civilization. It can literally mean just the destruction of the corruption and all the apparatuses involved, while the rest of us go back to work tomorrow and go and continue on eating our Taco Bell like we have been this whole time anyway.
Well,
True,
and then
but
I
I would
also
see
see with the smoking gun portion, Parker, I think it's more the idea that it will appear Armageddon-esque, only to, be a period of terror where, I don't know, I get the vibe that because we're asking about the hearings themselves, we're getting the lovers, and we're getting this idea that they're stuck in the status quo, so the state of nature, and then they're being destroyed after being gifted dark knowledge. But at the end of the day, what is the knowledge? What is left standing but the knowledge? The information we get. So I think we're going to see a major paradigm shift, which will be socially and societally destructive, but not necessarily literally.
Not in a bad way, and it's not, destruction doesn't always mean bad.
no, it doesn't.
The Pinus contorta can only reproduce with fire. So the only way that a tree can live is through fire. So yes, it'll probably be a little chaotic in the process, but on the other side, we'll probably be, looks like we're still going to get Star Wars movies too. So,
Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, people are really being awesome tonight. We have another $50 donation to Child's Play tonight.
hold on, that's Canadian 50, so it's really like $2 US, but continue.
Actually, I think we're a little bit ahead right now. So
I don't even know anymore. The inflation's doing this, the dollar's all over. You wonder why I want the Federal Reserve to collapse. It's what I just said right there.
But here we go. Nemesis of Eden, here's to helping the kids in the hospital. That's a scary time for anyone, let alone a child. I'm curious what your thoughts are on a few deities, Cora, and what are your thoughts on Pan, Bastet, and Sekhmet? When it comes to Pan, I mean, the first thought that always comes into my mind when it comes to Pan is, look, man, don't hate the Seder, hate the game. The dude is, he's wild, he's free. The thing about the Greek wild deities, because I really classify the Greek classical deities into 2 sections: the civilized ones that stayed in the cities, your Athena, your Zeus, your Hera, and then you have the wild deities like Bacchus and Pan that are not meant to be controlled, or your Artemises, right? Pan is a force of wild nature and reckless abandon, and yet also a lot of love, and not always the kind of love that you have to clean up with a bucket and mop, okay? But that kind of wild and free energy. So I really enjoy working with Pan, actually. Bastet, look, I have a cat in my house. If, I have a shrine to Bastet in my home. Look, Bastet is all about, in my opinion, showing a lot of care and love and attention to protecting the home, okay, and protecting that which is made in the home. So I have a lot of respect for the Egyptian deities, a good healthy dose of fear, because they have a very specific way of doing things. And I love Bastet's kids, so I'm a big cat person as well. So I think I think Bastet is an excellent deity, but like any cat, you have to be very particular in how you treat Bastet. So I do recommend, if you intend to work with Bastet at all, do a lot of your homework beforehand. Things such as wearing all white, making sure that the mirrors in the house face each other, lights are only by candlelight when you're working with her, that sort of thing. Sekhmet is another classic example of this. Similar kind of idea. Sekhmet is very, very set in her ways on how you're supposed to deal with her. I really recommend being very careful with her, as her wonderful nature in helping others is well known, but so is her wrath. So be careful on that one. Here we go.
So I actually want to jump in for a second on Sekhmet, if I may.
Of course.
So he's very interesting because I've done a lot of research and have my own theories about the Exodus and the historicity of that and all of that. And so there's a lot of the standard thesis, assuming we can take the Exodus story as a historical, the standard thesis of the Exodus of the Pharaoh of Moses would be Ramesses II. That's what most people seem to think. That's who Yul Brynner played in Ten Commandments, my favorite movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I actually think the strongest evidence is actually for Amenhotep III, who is the father of Akhenaten, right?
Yes.
And so Amenhotep III, what's interesting about him is two things. One is that he is the first pharaoh to declare himself a living god. Before that, the pharaonic tradition was you were deified upon death, sort of like how the Roman emperors were, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you were not considered a deity in your lifetime. And he declared himself an actual deity. And so, if you've got, if you take the biblical Quranic story of Moses and his deity, not taking that too well, like you're proclaiming yourself a god, well, God's going to intervene on that, right? So that's one thing. So he's unusual in that respect. But what's also unusual is that, to get to Sekhmet, is that what we know from the Egyptian records is that the last sort of several years of his reign, there seems to have been major chaos inside the country with regard to health issues, plagues and things, because he suddenly started building all of these temples and icons of Sekhmet all over Egypt. It became the last thing he did. He was obsessed with this deity, and it's a deity that protects against illnesses, as I understand, right? And against plagues. And that, if we take the Exodus story as, Moses comes and, part of his punishment is he does, all these plagues hit ancient Egypt, then he's going to rely on the deity he knows to try to counteract that. Right. And so that's why Sekhmet, I thought, was very interesting. And do you have any and also for me, it's interesting that then his son renounces the traditional Egyptian pantheon and becomes a monotheist. And if his son, witnessed the events of Exodus and saw his father get killed in this splitting of the Red Sea moment, he goes, maybe I should be with this one God. Right. And the other final element of that is that Akhenaten, his son, who becomes a monotheist, was not the intended heir to the throne. He had an elder brother who died mysteriously. There's no record as to how he died. And then Akhenaten becomes the new heir, right? So if we take that story of the elder child of the Bible being as the final punishment is the eldest son, the eldest child of the Egyptians must die, then it makes sense. The firstborn. Thank you, firstborn. And then it would make sense that if the firstborn of Amenhotep's son, his heir, dies mysteriously, we don't even have his mummy. We just have an empty casket, right? And there's no explanation as to how he passed away. And then suddenly Akhenaten is given the reign, and then he abandons his father's religion. So Sekhmet seems interesting. Is there anything that relates to any of your knowledge of her?
Well, there's a few interesting pieces to me in that whole time in Egypt, because there's a really, really interesting argument I've heard over the ages that Moses might have actually been
Mhm.
taught as a priest of Aten, the
Sure.
monotheistic deity of Egypt.
Yeah.
Which would make Judaism a whole lot more interesting when you really get right down to it. But you know, as a god of medicine,
Mhm.
and having worked with, you know, again before in a more practical, like more inline sense,
Mhm.
they are very, very much, this deity is very, very much one of these deities that is very much about an orderly procession on things, right? Consider it almost the Egyptian deities are used to almost being worshipped in a very scientific method.
Yeah.
And the work that Sekhmet teaches is that kind of orderly work. It is scientific medicine, right?
Mhm.
And to me, it's a fascinating thing. Again, I don't have the proper facilities in my own home to properly work with the Egyptian deities. There's
Mhm.
a lot of prep work that has to go into working with them positively. And I guess the one major piece I can give all of you is, it just so happens that the traditional drum beat for Bastet, when trying to call her forth, happens to be the same backbeat as Sweet Dreams, and she does not like
Mhm.
the song. So just
Wait,
as a heads up,
but it is the same backbeat, but she doesn't like that song.
she doesn't
Sweet
like the
dreams are made
lyrics.
of this.
She doesn't like the lyrics.
So did Eurythmics actually adapt that intentionally?
I don't think they did,
So
but
maybe
it's
they
an
went.
interesting discussion, right?
It's funny because that's actually like what the Ed Sheeran court case proved, is that like a lot of rhythms and chords are pretty generic, and then they just get played by different instruments over each other and in different orders, and that's what makes unique songs. And I think that's exactly what we're hearing here, is that unique song is not loved by the person who loves that beat.
Yeah.
So
So
it's like Ice Ice Baby is almost a direct ripoff of David Bowie, right? I think there's one chord that's different.
that's exactly it. So guys, just as a heads up,
Mhm.
we have 130 left to buy a Switch for a hospital, and 330 to buy an Xbox Series X 1 terabyte console potentially
People
for a
keep
hospital.
donating. We're getting
Okay,
closer.
so, you know, so we could be
Those are our
responsible for
benchmarks.
putting one. Yeah, there you go, right?
We have little thermometers to fill. That's how much you guys have already done in just like we're half an hour in. You guys have
Yeah.
already almost bought a Switch. Thank you.
Yeah, you
Shout
guys
out
are
to the
amazing.
kids. Yeah.
Like I am so proud of this community right now, and I really want to thank you guys so far. And you know, we're still going strong here, so let's see what we can do.
Well, on that note, forgive me, gentlemen. I need to head out. I've got to get ready to go drive very far away in rush hour traffic in LA for dinner. So blessings
so
to
like
everyone
5
here.
miles.
Yeah, it should take 15 minutes. It's going to take an hour and a half. Whatever. I got to get going.
Yeah, I know.
So
Well, good luck,
thank you for an
brother. Thank
incredible
you.
reading. I will take it, and I will let you know. So far, you've done multiple readings for me that have been right on the mark. So let's keep it going. Hopefully, I can. You gave me a lot of hope today, and hopefully, I can bring a little bit of blessings to the kids. So it's all good.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much again, and have a wonderful night and a wonderful dinner.
All right. God bless, my friends. Take care. Everyone, keep donating, everyone, and please, it's an important cause. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was once again Cameron Pasha, one of our very, very good friends. And yeah, guys, so let's keep this going. Let's do some fun stuff here. Panelists, you guys are awesome people. Is there anything you guys would like to hear? Just in general pop culture stuff for the year?
What
go ahead.
is the legacy of AI art going to be on pop culture?
Okay, now.
this year?
Okay,
what
now.
impact is it going to have?
Okay, now that's going to be just for this year. I am not reading much farther than a year at this point. Right?
That's my request. Only this year.
Okay, so let's do it. So AI art.
So in the next 2 months. All right.
No, for the next 365, Petey.
Oh, you mean
next year when we help them kids again?
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, because as PD was quite clever to point out and open us up for a wonderful discussion. The reason why I do readings at around this time of year for opportunities for people is because this is the pagan New Year. This is when the barriers between the various worlds are at their thinnest, and it just takes a little bit of a push to push forward. And usually what we do at around this time of year is we use this to try to find good fortune in the new year and remember those that came before us and potentially seek out their wisdom. So with that in mind, let's see what AI art is going to do. Well, now that's interesting. So Gaia typically represents the earth, the whole world, the whole of things. So I would say that we're talking about all of pop culture right now.
That's right. Cover those up in the name of American squeamishness.
And if anyone asks, they're male boobies, and that means they're completely safe. So, and
Get
that's
over it is all I'm gonna say at this point.
Fair enough. Typically, this card has a tendency to represent the whole of the universe. So what we're getting pop culture being blocked by society's needs and societal pressure. So it's not necessarily that, you know, pop culture doesn't want AI art. It's that perhaps everybody else is leery of it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And of course, then we have the Fool. The
Hey,
Fool.
John's in this deck.
So the Fool typically represents a youth or a beginning, right? Because when we all begin on our journey, we really don't know what we're doing, right? We're all apprentices. We're all noobs, right? In fact, I would even recommend that if they ever reprint this deck, they rename this card the Noob.
That sounds more appropriate, because just to not to totally interrupt the reading too much here, but yeah, the way that the Bible describes fool is basically the equivalent to, well, the other word used for dumbass, not necessarily unknower or lack of knowledge or ignorant.
So what I would say is that this is still a very, very new technology, and we're not quite using it right yet. Ooh, here we go. But that's going to change significantly. The death card in tarot doesn't actually represent death. It doesn't mean something's going to die. It represents significant change. Okay? A ending of the old and a beginning of a new. And with that change comes significant knowledge. So I would say we are going to spend the next year honing AI art to become something new, and we're going to learn a lot from it.
Well, it's funny because my personal interpretation is that pop culture is going to be wholly affected by everything changing from old to educated.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not necessarily that the AI itself will be the smarter thing, but will be smarter for it.
There we go. All right. Why you hating? How is first $5 towards Child's Play? Thank you very much. Why you hating? That is awesome. And how is Nelson Peltz's mission to take over Disney going to go? I don't think the cards are going to be quite right for this one. Let's get out the runes.
Pulling out the big guns.
Yeah. All right. Nelson Peltz. Has anyone got a picture of this guy? Let me see if I can find one. Okay, yeah, I got a good image of the guy. wow, you think you've got an image of somebody, and then you see Nelson Peltz and you realize it's exactly the image you wanted, or you figured it was for the guy. Nelson Peltz looks exactly like you imagine Nelson Peltz would look like.
Does he have a fur pelt?
Like I said, when you bring up the image, you're going to be like, yeah, oh no, that's Nelson Peltz. Here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so for those that are interested, the runes Jera, Gebo, Tyr, Othala, Radu. Let's see. I gotta remember here. Hagaz and Wunjo. All right. Or no, that's not it. That's Thuraz. My apologies. All right. Here we go. We have a conflict with a former friend. I would argue that these two together is for the soul of I would guess Disney right now. So they're going to openly fight this year. It's going to be less shadow games and more straight up. And that this journey is going to lead their profits to a point of significant fluctuation. I don't think that Nelson Peltz's mission is going to be completed in the next 365 days. Like completely. He's not going to win or lose in that time, but it's going to be a hell of a fight to watch. I don't think we've seen a battle like this in quite some time. You know, if I was reading for a king of a land and I got this kind of reading, I would tell him to watch out for his friend and to, get his war party ready because he's about to enter into one hell of a fight. So, yeah.
Geez, seems across pop culture and government, change is coming.
Yeah, I think this...
Change is coming and kicking and screaming.
Yeah, this to me seems like one of those years where we are going to have a lot of massive change.
1812 Overture comes to mind.
I don't know if it's going to be quite that bad, but we're going to get serious. We're going to get serious this year, guys. If you wanted a show with fireworks, get ready because we're going to get it.
It's an interesting way to phrase it.
Oh, well.
Are you telling people to enjoy the show?
I am telling people to enjoy the show. I don't know if I would personally get directly involved. I'd probably keep my distance myself.
Yeah, I'm only getting involved.
Too poor to do anything effective, so let's just stay back and watch the show.
Yeah, I mean,
if any ill will people try to come into my town, then that's probably where I'll get involved. Otherwise, no, I have no reason to go offensive.
Yeah,
I guess stay away from the dinosaurs as they fall.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to go with, when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. So don't be the grass, right?
Yeah, and don't fall for anybody's fight either, because you know what they say: war is fights of the rich fought with the blood of the poor.
Yep. Or I guess in the case of an internal corporation fight, it's fought with the money of the poor. No. So there we go. Why you hating? I hope that that provided you some insight and interest there. We're doing pretty good, guys. I really appreciate this. This is going fairly well. Okay, so we had John's AI art, but Petey, you had something in mind.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to bust out the runes of the cards for this one, but how's the Ryder Brothers gonna do over the next 365 days?
Let's hit the cards for this one because I think this will be fun. Okay.
Because we've decided to just adopt the business model of we're not asking for money for the foreseeable future. So, although Hannah and I are thinking of starting some actual merchandise stuff, though.
Well, that would be kind of cool.
Like even so far as John, would you be upset if we decided to commercialize Mom's marinara sauce? I was honestly just thinking of putting it on a PayPal store on TWB and calling it Sarah's Marinara.
Call it Serenera.
That works too. But yeah, even have like her picture on it and everything.
Echo, right?
Here we go. Skogly, everything okay there?
Yeah, I just forgot my mic was on while I prompted Echo to turn on my light.
Okay. All right, here we go. The Ryder Brothers are the stars of their own journey.
Duh. Good job, cards. You know how to state the obvious.
Well, and they're blocked by their own hubris.
Okay.
Their journey is taking them to a place of actual comfort and rest. You're just going to pay for it along the way. Ooh. And in that journey, I guess the best way to put it is that return to basics is going to provide new insight and knowledge. And that knowledge could be dangerous. But based on what I'm seeing here, I think you guys can handle it. So I would say be careful of the knowledge you receive on this in the next 365 days. And make sure you apply it carefully. So
Stay the course, got it.
I don't think you're going to have the option to stay the course. I think you guys are on a journey, and it's going to be a good one. So there you go, guys.
Return to basics. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Well, while we've got some time here as well, Skogly, do you have anything you'd like to foresee or know about?
I'm thinking at the moment, but right now I'm just going to send you a little glitch while I switch platforms here.
Okay, fair enough. So while we're kind of waiting on that right now, here we go. All right. So we just got some random stuff coming in here. All good. All right. So yeah, I think we're doing pretty good, guys. I think we got a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I think that's the big stuff. If possible, I want to try to avoid doing too much political Tonight, I think the world is crazy and chaotic enough without me.
Yeah. That's your reason. Has nothing to do with the fact that when we did politics, we literally saw destruction and then a last man standing with a smoking gun, which aligns with certain conspiracy theories out there that we obviously don't need to get into.
Well, I mean, like, them aliens are totally my jam, but if we get into like, certain conflicts in the world that YouTube doesn't particularly enjoy.
Exactly.
I'd like to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, let's start. Yeah, Israel Palestine terror ratings. No.
What are the aliens gonna do to the humans this year?
What are the aliens doing to the humans this year? Okay, I don't. I'm gonna warn you right now, John. I don't actually specifically in this deck have a probe card, so we'll see what we get here. Okay.
Close enough. We have tentacles in there somewhere.
Yes, that we definitely do. All right. Here we go. Let me get that kind of going here. So let me see. All right. Here we go. Oh, we got a Scogli back. All right, Scogli, you're just in time. John has asked what the aliens have in mind for us tonight, or actually for the next year. And it appears that the aliens are determined to keep the status quo.
That sounds, wow, we're already tracking, 1 for 1.
Gonna be honest, screw you, aliens.
Concur.
But here's what's opposing them. Humanity's dreams. And our dreams of change and of becoming something better. Ooh.
Shit's gonna hit the fucking fan next year.
Well, as they go on their journey, they're going to be facing off against some powerful opposition.
Like a unified army of 8 billion strong?
Well, no, because if our dreams are changing, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily like attacking the aliens necessarily. It's more like our dreams of their anonymity. Because if they want to keep the status quo, it's maintain anonymity, and our dreams are like, no, we want to get to know y'all. And that's the destruction I think we're seeing. That war we're fighting is anonymous versus known.
Well, we got the 7 of Swords up, so...
Yeah, they are very much going to be shackled by their own position.
Can't make the shadows darker if people keep turning on the lights.
Oh, wow. And they are really going to OD on their own mistakes.
This is why you never attempt to control that which can never be controlled. That was quite an impressive reading for all.
Oh, well. Guys, you asked me
this lines up with it. So we've got alien revelations coming. We've got the aliens not going to keep their status quo, and we've got the destruction of Disney, or how we understand Disney. A big battle within Disney coming. Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cards are really interesting because, like, even somebody without like any formal training at all can like lay out the cards and just be horrified by what they see, and it'll speak to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I like these cards. I'm a bit of a dumbass, and these are kind of like an elaborate scene save for me.
I was going to ask you which variant that is. The art is very reminiscent of the Raider White, but it's clearly not.
It is based entirely on the Raider White deck, but it was actually done for the tabletop White Wolf Publishing RPG books.
Oh,
they
cool.
took the art that they had done from a lot of the books and did it as a actual Rider-Waite style deck. But
yeah, because the reference to the Rider White is just obvious by that. I'm like, what is this?
yeah,
It's cool. I like them.
it really is. I really love the artwork in these. That it really spoke to me, and that's why I'm super down with using them. Right? I think they're kind of amazing that way. Right? So, to me, I thought that was really, really cool. I've loved this deck, and you cannot get it anywhere.
Have you seen the Crowley Thoth deck?
Yes.
It's pretty esoteric. I had it, but it decided to leave me. It was hard to read anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some really cute ones over the last little while. I'm usually not like a theme deck kind of person. But there have been some cute ones. Somebody did a tarot deck for, believe it or not, the anime card Captor Sakura, which I thought was hilarious. But almost all of my decks are some basis of a Rider-Waite deck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Rider Whites are cool. It just they speak to like anybody, really.
Yeah. And in fact, guys, speaking of the Rider-Waite deck, just give me one moment here, okay? So if you guys can just vamp for a second.
I have a tarot deck. It's got a bland name. It's like the Divine something, but they've added another layer to interpret. Like each card is tied to a story in mythology or folklore that directly ties to the theme of the OG card itself. So when you read the card, you can also read the story, and there's another layer of interpretation you can glean from that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Can we get Why You Hatin's comment up?
Sure. Here we go. That settles it. I'm now 100% convinced aliens have the violent monkey planet under quarantine, and the human race is largely oblivious. Very cool.
I can't really argue with that interpretation after everything the thing is too is it's worth noting a lot of the stuff that, especially the one with Congress and the aliens, not to get too specific about some of the stuff I follow at the moment because it's not time to be that public yet. John, you bailed, idiot. Wasn't supposed to do that. Anyway, some of the stuff that I follow on my own channels is also talking about similar stuff possibly coming down, that revelations about the aliens being real and how that incorporates into mythologies and everything. Like the truth is coming. The awakening it's happening now. It's happening on this channel. It's happening everywhere. But it's people are recognizing that a lot of what we've been told, and whether it's from religious, whether it's government, whether it's history, a lot of it has been distorted and perverted to personal gain to suit those in power. No, the people above us with lots of money are not the smartest people of us all. The smartest people on the species are not necessarily in charge. That's just
no. They're in this chat right now. So
a lot of them are in this chat. A lot of them are in other chats. A lot of them are just regular average people that have been conditioned to live regular average lives because that's what was necessary to sustain this illusion of a system that we have now.
Well, I don't know. I tend to believe that I have the greatest chat mankind has ever produced. So
the people at the top that are in control of the money, they're born into it. They're the nobility, and we're all the peasants. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah. So with that, Corione, I know you said you wanted to avoid politics.
There is something I did want to point out. So Scogli brought up the Rider-Waite deck right here, showing a picture of. Here we go. Let's see if I can zoom it out a little bit. The Mage. And this is the World of Darkness, or the not World of the Mage, like the tarot deck I have. So you can see the similarities there. Now, this particular Rider-Waite deck has never been opened or used.
Oh.
And I was thinking, wouldn't it make a lovely giveaway for tonight?
Oh, cool. Nice.
Right? This is the classic, idea. The OG Rider-Waite deck. And I am more than willing to give it away to one member of the chat, okay? And I think we'll put together a fun little, the first person to put it in the chat after, we put in the chat like a 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have it so that it's fairly fair. So the question is going to be, What is the original Irish name for Halloween? Now I'm going to write it in the chat, and then I'm going to write 1, 2, 3. Whoever types in the answer first will contact you. We'll get in touch after the show, and I will arrange to ship out a Rider Waite deck to you. What do you guys think? Does that sound like fun?
It sounds like fun.
All right. Here we go.
Yes, Nemo, to a blessed Samhain to you.
Yeah, you jumped the gun on us here. You
Oh, wait,
jumped
that is?
the gun. Nemo 2. Oh, you jumped the gun. Wait. Okay, so now we got to get a new question here.
Nemo really wants that deck.
All right, now, Nemo, everybody, wait until I put the one in the chat. So let me type out the question, and then we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then you can type your answer, okay? I'm not even going to say the question yet. It's just going into the chat.
Ah.
Okay, here we go.
The question is, who can pronounce that word properly?
Oh, what, Samhain? It's not hard at all. It's the people that.
But how
that
many
pronounce
people know it?
Yeah, it's the people that pronounce it as Sam Hain that drive me up the wall.
Samhain. What?
Yeah.
People try to pronounce it Sam Hain or something like that.
Well, it makes sense.
Well,
but
that's
that-
how it's
yeah.
spelled in Americanese. So
Yeah. Okay. Question is
Salmon.
going in right now.
Salwain,
Here we go.
sort of.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Go ahead and answer it, guys. Nemesis of Eden right then and there, right here to go. Nemesis of Eden, congratulations. You just won yourself a Rider Waite deck.
Sick.
You're in my Discord already, so we will go ahead and get an address, and I will ship this out to you. Congratulations, sir. You just won yourself a deck. Everybody, let's give a big hand to Nemesis. And congratulations on that. Very well done. Okay. So yeah, guys. We've got that out of the way. Does anyone else have any more questions right now?
hell, I got one. If you want to bust out the runes.
Oh, we're going there, huh? All right.
Will the Federal Reserve collapse this year? I know you didn't want to do politics or government, but that affects everybody, and we're all being affected negatively by the dollar. So let's get that
Okay.
slave chain broken. Finally,
Let's see what we get here. All right. The Federal Reserve.
and for those who don't know how much it sucks, check out our Old Road Council video. And if you don't get access to it, become a member, and you can today. Nemesis of Eden likes to watch all the road councils every day.
Sometimes twice.
We've almost had enough to fulfill one 24-hour cycle. John Solo, that's not a real name.
Here we go. All right. Oh, we've also got 13EM32. Wonderful to see you again. And, one of my other amazing channel members, along with Nemesis of Eden. So thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Yeah, that's
Nemesis
awesome.
is channel member number 1. And 13M32, congratulations on being our favorite channel member A.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you'd like the John Solo channel. He did a video on Halloween just like last week. I watched that one too. I knew that one already, but yeah, John
All right.
Solo's way cool.
All right, guys, here we go. So the runes in question that have come up here, once again, we have Ainwaz, we have Isa, Kanaz, appearing again, we have Nathuz, We have Othala. And once again, we have power represented by, let's see if I've got the pronunciation in front of me here, because, yeah, Suwillo. Okay. Here we go. All right. So what I am seeing here is I don't see a decrease in power from the Fed. If
Oh, great.
anything, it's going to get stronger
Okay.
and more tightly controlled. Although I do see, so this typically points to a restriction. So I would say it is going to get more power, like it is more powerful, but more restricted as well.
So some regulation coming in, possibly.
There you go. So there you go. There's your Fed reading for the year.
I just looked through my deck here to see to look for the magician card, and after cycling through the whole deck to look for this specific card, it was the only card in the deck that was upside down.
There we go. Okay, and Nemesis of Eden throwing us another $10 for Child's Play. Thank you. I'm really excited for the deck. That's so cool.
Can't see it. There it is.
There we go. Nemesis of Eden, thank you for playing along. I decided that, we should do something a little bit fun, a little bit exciting, truth be told. That deck has been like the daughter I couldn't marry off. And, I'm glad it's going to someone that'll get some proper use out of it. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I will be finishing the question. It's in regards to the USS Texas renovation that's ongoing. Okay, so Why You Hatin's got a question coming up, so we'll get to that very shortly. And 13M32, Proto Badger, hail, that's awesome. Oh, what have you got there, my friend? Here,
this is the Beneath the Moon manual for the Divine Tarot deck. I should turn that filter thing off my camera. Oh,
So yeah, it's looking all distorted, and I mean, it looks
virtual
great
background none. There
yeah, it
we
looks,
go.
looks
There we
great for
go.
spiritual effects for the show, but yeah, we can't see.
Fairy
Yeah,
tales
Beneath
and
the Moon.
myths and divine stories from around the world, and each story is tied to one of the cards. One that makes sense, obviously, that it would be tied to add an extra layer for you to look into.
very awesome. There we go.
Yeah, you got the magician is the fairy godmother, for instance.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. Yeah, man. So, all right, guys. We've been going strong here. We've been building quite nicely. She's a Glass Act has been keeping track, I think, of how we're doing so far tonight, and we've been doing pretty amazing. You guys have been so awesome, raising so much money for the kids. It's really appreciated for everybody. I think that's amazing. We got Michael Beacom here.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Here we go. Michael Beacom, hail Corion, Witch in Residence. Here's for the charity. May your event go well. Michael Beacom, thank you so much. That is amazing of you to offer. If you have a question you'd like to be entertained by me doing a reading for you, please feel free to put it in the chat, and I'll go ahead and answer it to the best of my ability, at least in an entertaining way. I'd like to remind everybody that, these readings are not necessarily guaranteed to be the future, but it is a lot of fun, and we're having, I think, a pretty good time along the way, and at least getting to hear some cool stories as we go. So if you have anything, that would be amazing, right? Here we go. Here we go. Why You Hating for $5 for the charity. Are the ghosts haunting the ship pleased by the ongoing restoration, or is the racket of the construction disturbed them? Ooh. All right. So, as some of you may or may not know, the USS Texas is actually rumored to be haunted. And, the ghosts have in the past have not been particularly happy about changes made to the ship. So let's see how they feel about this. Oh, She's a Glass Act has gotten back to us. 105 for a Switch or 305 for an Xbox remaining. So there we go, guys. We're getting there. Here we go. It's the USS Texas. All right. Here we are. Ooh. So, Michael Beacom says, not necessarily, but thanks for offering. Gotta go. Michael Beacom, thank you so much for showing up and for donating. I thank you. The kids thank you. You have our thanks. Okay, so the King of Dynamism talks about an individual's dreams, right? So in this case, I would say that it's talking about the etherealness of these ghosts and their dreams of the ship. I think this is actually a pretty good idea of what we're talking about here when we talk about the ghosts of the USS Texas. And they are blocked by the journey that they have to take to the other side. A very, heavy, trying journey. And they are caged to the ship. Wow, okay. They're imprisoned there. They don't have a choice but to be there. I don't think we could have gotten a more accurate thing when talking about ghosts here. Why you hating? Ooh. But ultimately, it appears that they are in favor of destroying the old for the change. And bringing the old girl into fighting form. So there we go. Guys, I don't know about you, but that was a little freaky for me.
Yeah, it's been a weird night.
Right? I mean, that one was a little freaky, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've ever quite gotten a reading that was that dead on, about somebody being stuck in something. So, very cool, guys. Very, very cool. So, yeah, guys. Woo. Ooh, that one gave me a little bit of chills, so thank you for that. Yeah, and it seems that praise for Nemesis of Eden's spot on knowledge keeps flowing in here. 13M32, awesome prize you have earned with a rather rare bit of knowledge. Yeah, well, you guys did good, and I'm always impressed by when people put their thinking caps on and remember cute little bits of trivia. So here we go. Ooh, all right. So yeah, we got a little bit of a little freaky one there. I guess while we're waiting for the next one to roll in, you know what I'm going to do? Let's ask the question about Skywalker Ranch. Or not, Skinwalker Ranch.
I was going to say.
Skinwalker Ranch.
I was going to say.
Will they find evidence? Will we find evidence of what is living on Skinwalker Ranch? Here we go. All right. So if you guys just want to chat while I'm shuffling, go for it here.
What's your method on how to stop shuffling?
I more or less go until. So the cards kind of feel disorganized when I start focusing my mind on the question. And if I just kind of shuffle and let it get shifted around, I can kind of feel that moment where just the right little piece of a little riffle shuffle will put everything just right and back into order.
Yeah.
And that moment where if I just give the deck like a little bit of squeeze, suddenly all the cards are back into place. And they've gone from like a chaotic mess to just right, right? That's when. So let's see what Skinwalker Ranch.
It's always similar response, but it's interesting to see what people actually say. I like it.
All right.
Some people say when they feel cooked, oh, they're done. You do it until they're done. I'm like, yeah, I like that one too. They're cooked. It's done.
So
shuffle until one tries to jump out but doesn't succeed.
Yeah, it's always something like that. So what is at the core of Skinwalker Ranch has always been part of the world. And the reason why it's been acting out is because of us trying to impose order on it. Now it's shackled there. It's held there. It can't escape. And it's destructive because it wants to change that. It wants to be free. And ultimately, I think that's self-defeating. I think whatever's going on at Skinwalker Ranch is getting ready to lay down and die. So that's pretty interesting.
So peace will be coming to the area then.
Maybe. Okay, so we got one question for you, Corion. As a practicing witch, do you know what causes a spirit to get stuck? And if there are ways to set them free? It might be too big of a question for you. Okay, I have my own personal theories on that. I'm going to say that there is no true consensus when it comes to that kind of a question. What I believe we are seeing in these as ghosts is like an afterimage, a set of memories that get left behind that are powerful enough to give it form. But it's the illusion of a life, of a spirit. It's not the totality of one. But it's stuck in that loop of playing back that memory back and forth over and over again, right? And whatever is holding it there, whatever emotional trauma caused those memories to be separated from the spirit that has moved on, that has to be reconciled. Peace has to be found with those emotions and brought, and allowed to return to the source again, back to the spirit that was once part of. And that's how you free it. And that could be as simple as just jarring it, going, hey, you're dead, wake up, get used to the program. Or it could be helping it resolve whatever lingering issue is still there. So that's what I personally believe. But, you ask, 15 different spiritualists, you'll get 20 different answers. Right? So it's a good question. And it's definitely one of those mystery of the universe kind of things. But that's been my experience, is that it feels like it's like a skipping record. And in order to kind of get it to move on, you either have to give the record a little bit of a bump or resolve the skip in the record somehow. Usually by repairing or healing. Fix the vinyl, for lack of a better term.
It's hard to fix vinyl.
It really is hard to fix vinyl. I had one of my favorite teachers in computer science used to say, fixing computers is easy. I can train any monkey to fix a computer. Fixing people is hard.
Can you train them? Can you teach a monkey how to fix a computer over the telephone?
Dude, I've did that for years. All right. Here we go. 13M32. Quarion Witch in Resonance. This power upgrade you have now, is it permanent or just for your new year? The bump is permanent, I think. And it's okay. I wasn't really going to announce this whole thing, but so witches have several different degrees, right? You have your regular entry level witches. You have kind of your higher up tier, like your high priest, those that can train and teach and what have you. And then you have your top tier, the elders of the community, the wizened ancient ones that are, supposed to be the ones that are smart and generally set policy. And I have moved from the bottom tier to a mid-tier individual, shall we say now. So I guess the best way to put it would be witch in residence. As you know, I am a witch, but I'm also considered a priest. So I would now be a high priest, would be the way to put it. Or for Roman Catholics out there, it would be the equivalent of basically a bishop. So there you go. And when I got the bump, it seems that also translated down to my runes, because my tools suddenly got a whole lot better at their job, and I'm very happy about it. And congratulations. Well, thank you. Dahlia Lightwood says, hi all. Hey, Dahlia, how are you? Here we go. Hope everyone is doing well today. Yeah, Dahlia, we're doing really good. We're doing a charity stream tonight. So all the money we're raising is going to Child's Play charities, which put video game consoles into hospitals for kids that are, in need some distraction. And I mean, I think as anybody who's been a child that's been in a hospital, it can be pretty hard on people, and giving them the opportunity to get away from their troubles for a little bit and, stomp some Goombas or what have you, or throw a plasma grenade at some noob. It helps a lot, right? So that's what we're doing tonight. And to entertain you while we're doing that, I have been going ahead and doing rune readings and tarot readings for entertainment purposes. And Nemesis of Eden, so do we start addressing you as High Priest Quarion? Gods, no,
HPC.
please don't. Please do not. Please do not. I am still your witch in residence, just your friendly neighborhood occultist. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Corion's not exactly into altar boys, so.
Well, there is that too. Well, it depends. Are they legal and cute?
Hey, that's fair.
So here we go. Cool. That's a great cause. I'm all for anything that helps kids heal. Well, that's what we're all about here too, right? I mean, I figure, look, for Dahlia, for witches like me, this is our new year. And, I always believe that when the new year hits, you should try to give back and do something wonderful for it, right? So here we go. Cool. My parents were hippies and way into tarot and astrology. So I know about that stuff. I just don't practice any organized religion. That's cool. Everybody's welcome here. So long as you're willing to, be reasonable about stuff and be cool with what other people believe, you're always welcome here.
I'm a Ronin Christian, so yeah, I'm like in that very same boat, more or less.
Mm-hmm. That bit on Skinwalker Ranch was intriguing. If it's stuck there, I wonder who or what imprisoned it. I don't know. I suspect whatever it is way stronger than any of them. Right? I mean, and for something that strong, we're talking the kind of stuff that makes your hair stand on end and have bad dreams. So yeah, I mean, if you guys really, really want me to find out, I suppose we can go there, but that's going to be up to the chat here tonight. Here we go. I agree. I used to celebrate Samhain when I was Wiccan. It's the one holiday I still kind of celebrate. Well, that's awesome. Dahlia, you're welcome to join in the festivities. I don't quite have food and drink ready to go, but if you guys have brought, feel free to enjoy yourselves.
I knew I should have poured myself something other than water.
I'm actually just drinking cola tonight, so nothing crazy, unfortunately. I do have my mead horn ready to go though for Samhain proper. So here we go. And I assume you're not referring to any sort of illegal substance in this chat, and that you're purely referring to things like dandelions, which are totally legal and in no way could cause anybody, including anyone in the chat, problems.
It's good.
I
was like, it's good to live in Canada.
yeah. I love how it is.
That's the one embarrassing thing about flying this thing is I live in a country where plants are illegal. That's really sad.
Well, Petey, you're always welcome to come up here and enjoy. And
actually, I take that back.
Return.
The state that I actually reside in does have it half right. And actually, you guys boast about your Canadian medical system. The medical system in the Mormon state is, I'm blown away. H. Marie, being a new patient, got in to see specialists like within a week. That nice. In Idaho, that's like months and whatnot. So yeah, like there's something to be said for having a state that's more dry than other states when it comes to alcohol and maybe doesn't get involved in the debauchery. But you know what? They got Nevada next door for that. And so it kind of keeps a balance in the country in a way.
Yeah, and you see Dahlia quite correctly figured it out. She was, of course, talking about dillweed, so we're all good. There we go.
Nevada, everything is legal there. Yeah, just about. Although I don't know why that state has red flag laws, but that's beside the point. But yes, Nevada, between Nevada and Montana, it's a rivalry between who's a freer state in the nation.
Yeah, and Dahlia's actually from Nevada, apparently. Here we go. All right, so Proto Badger has graciously donated $5 to the cause. And he has a question for my runes, so we'll go ahead and set that up here. Will there be any new finds of the lost Norse outposts or towns within the next year? Well, let's get down to that here.
That's a good one.
That is a very good one.
Yeah. Down.
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
I will be away from console for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. So we are going to be looking at Thuraz. Then we move. Oh, sorry guys, a little lightheaded here. Then moving into Ainwaz, Jira,
Perthos.
Sorry?
Is that Perthos?
Yeah, exactly. Depends on who you ask, but yes. Sawillo, Gabo, and then we're going into I believe it's actually supposed to be there, and it's the Daigaz. Okay, so what I would say is very shortly, yes, there will be new finds, but they will be contested pretty heavily. And I believe this is going to be leading to new understandings and gifts the ancients left for us. So that's we are going to find evidence. I suspect we are going to find it in Norway, and I suspect we are going to find that it is going to give us new insights into the history of the Norse people. And that those insights are definitely going to change how the recreationist movement is currently doing its, like, it's going to change its understanding of how the Norse people lived and affect their story pretty significantly. So, but of course, those findings are going to be contested. So, as a heads up, there we go. So, thank you for that one, Proto. That was awesome. Why You Hating is throwing another $5 at us. Why You Hating? Thank you so much. This is awesome of you. As someone who was raised Catholic, I have my suspicion on who is responsible for jailing the entity, but would it be safe to ask the cards? Yes, it is totally safe. Look, I personally bear no ill will to any specific deity, and I really, really, truly hope none of them bear ill will to me. Seeing as how I have not been struck by lightning or set on fire recently, I'm going to assume that I'm in everybody's good books, and we'll go forward. Go forward until apprehended, I suppose, is the best way to put it. So yes, I'm more than willing to ask the cards who, but I suspect the answer we get from the cards is not going to be the full response. But Why You Hating? That is an awesome question. Okay. Here we go. So I'm only probably going to need one card to tell us who this is. So here we go.
Oh.
So this would be, in a regular deck, this would be the Page of Cups, Skogli, for your reckoning.
Yeah.
That would be... So Cups always talks about a return to original sources. Now, the most OG of original sources would be the King of Cups. The page would imply one of his direct servants.
Yeah, an apprentice, yeah.
So I would say whoever you believe the creator to be, one of their direct servants is what jailed them. So there you go, Why You Hating? I hope that answers your question there. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the Tarot Vision board here. I thought it was a neat little trick that we've developed for tonight, and I hope you guys are finding this kind of fun. And if we decide to do readings again in the future, I'm gonna try to bring this out again because I think this is working really well. What do you guys think so far?
Yeah. No, I mean, this is great. I mean, yeah, it could almost be incorporated into various Rogue Council moments, or if someone, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
A special segment.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I decided to get some spiced apple rum, so I can really connect with spirits now.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you're imbibing the spirits directly, I suppose that's a good way to do it. There we go.
Well, you know, probably just A class tonight.
There we
I'm
go.
not in my 20s. My liver's not the young buck it used to be.
There we go. Why you hating? Yeah, that's nothing new in the world of science and archaeology. For Proto Badger's question, yeah, I mean, like that happens a lot. The scientific and archaeology community is always bickering over stuff. Yeah, that's true.
And most of the time, it's just educated guessing too. That's the other thing. Like historians and whatnot, and various types of experts. I've realized that most of what they know, they're just making guesses off of common knowledge. You know,
That's it.
Anything that we everything that we understand about the world today in physics, you could probably catch up on in an afternoon reading the internet. It's not that hard to comprehend the knowledge. It's to do the science. It's to do the experiments. That's where it takes time to learn all the different, okay, this is why you don't mix this element with this element under this particular condition, because boom. So,
Yeah.
But you can read all about it. It's not that hard to become scholar in anything these days.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Most of chemistry and physics is all about learning how not to blow your hand off, right?
Yeah. And I
So-
mean, people sometimes just pass the time watching YouTube videos about history and stuff. But what I've learned is like I said, because I've now contributed a piece of Civil War history just off of an idea, it's like, no, as historians are mostly guessing. Now, a lot of them are good. I'm not saying that they're wrong. They're educated guesses. So they're based off of consistency and you know, what they can research with artifacts of the time. However, at the same time, it's really what it boils down to. It's not they're not, oh, wow, you must be big smart. Well, they are big smart on that subject. That's it.
Yeah. Well, they're subject matter experts, right?
Exactly. Which doesn't mean subject matter expert in everything.
That is true. Now, we have had a request from channel member 13M32. Corian, which residence, would you be able to tell us a little bit more about the mirror you showed us at the beginning? Well, yes, I can. So, the Black Mirror is a very, very old scrying tool. It was used initially to help people see things that they couldn't normally see. Yeah. Scogli has a sphere as well. Now, the mirror I have is not just made from volcanic glass or obsidian. It goes beyond that. This one has been specially treated with very specific herbs and worked on during very specific times of the year to get the mirror just right so that it would be a very, very inline tool for allowing someone to see into the unconscious kind of realm. Now, the way this typically works, and I'm going to go through kind of a little bit on how it works here, but you're probably not going to be able to use my mirror or see what I see when I look through the mirror over the internet. It doesn't really translate well, but the idea is it's a focus for allowing your mind to perceive that which you couldn't normally perceive. So the way it works for me is you have to kind of lift the box up and angle it just so that, like, for example, you can see my ring light here, okay? So that you don't have anything specific in frame, but you can see just like not any one specific thing. Okay, here. We're going to try to do this a little bit here. Nemesis of Eden is like, I'm interested and excited and a little freaked out, and that's a good sign. So the idea is you turn it in such a way so that you can't see quite anything in the mirror, and then you just kind of let your eyes go out of focus and let your mind go a little blank. And you can tell you're doing it right when the surface takes on an almost liquid quality, like you're looking into a bowl full of water if the bowl was black. And then what you do is you kind of focus on something you want to either remotely view or a time or a place or whatever you want to visually see. And if you do it just right, you can start to see images appear in the mirror, and you'll start to see what you're looking to focus on. Okay. And Dahlia Lightwood just said, whoa, that's exactly what I thought of. Water. Yeah, there we go. Right? Here we go. And yeah. So we've got Nemesis. I feel weirdly anxious and excited seeing that mirror. Yeah, that's a lot of people's reactions.
Every once in a while, I like to just go on the internet and I like to look up that picture from a museum in England, and it's got all of like John Dee and Edward Kelly's like scrying tools and like the actual black mirror that they used to speak with the daemons or whatever. And yeah, just looking at that picture is always just gives me tingles. I'm like, oh, it translate, like it comes through. It's cool.
Yeah. And then we've got, here we go. We got Dahlia, interesting. I'm weirdly calmed by this opposite reaction. It's funny how that works. Yeah, everybody's got a different reaction to it. Well, that's exactly what I thought of. Water, yep. And 13M32, fascinating. Well, I'm glad you think so, 13M32. Did that hopefully answer your questions a little bit about it? If anyone has something they'd like me to take a look for, I'm feeling pretty good tonight. If you guys would like me to try to use it live to look at something specific, I'm willing to make the attempt tonight as like our big finale piece if you guys are interested. Yeah, Dahlia, I'm seeing aliens, but I'm writing sci-fi, so maybe I'm remote viewing, or it might be my regular brain. Hard to tell with me. That's fair. I would say that, there's a scene in Star Wars where, Yoda's trying to teach Luke, and they're talking about the cave, and Yoda asks, what's in the cave? And Yoda says, only what you bring in there. Right? I tend to think of the mirror as kind of that it's what I'm bringing in, but sometimes you need that reflection in order to see it right. Here we go. 13M32, very powerful, very cool. Thank you. Here we go. I saw someone's projector screen. I don't know if I've got a projector screen going, but that's kind of an interesting visual.
That reminds me of something when you say a projector screen.
Yeah,
it makes me think of.
It looks like a home theater projector screen, about 16:10 ratio, rather large, like it was hanging on, on someone's wall.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me. I mean, immediately makes me think of like what is that? Stanley Kubrick's movie, the 2001 Space Odyssey, when people are like, what's the black thing mean there? The pedestal, the black space, the black bars that you keep seeing. And then at the very end of the movie, when the screen goes dark, it's just the black screen that everybody's hit with, like even in the theater. It's like, boom.
There we go.
There's some stuff going on in that movie.
And why you hating? What does it do that the stones and cards can't? This is for more. I tend to use it more for real time. Okay. So if I want to see what's going on and I want a visual image, I don't want to like piece together symbology. I want to actually see what's going on and try to describe it. Right. That's what it's good for. So if, for example, I was looking for a specific location for something, I would probably use this. I guess it's kind of the equivalent of the difference between using Facebook to learn something versus using Google Maps, right? Or, Google Earth, right? Here we go. So Dahlia's seeing some crazy stuff with the mirror. That's pretty cool. Maybe Dahlia, it might be fun for you to try to find one of your own and start playing with it. Who knows what you'll see, right?
You can use your cell phone in a pinch.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Really, that's fascinating. So you can use a cell
Everybody
phone.
has a black mirror in their pocket.
Huh.
Yeah, when you think about it, right?
Yep.
A lot
That's
of people.
unsettling.
well, a lot of people that I know actually use a mirror finished bowl. So they've got like a metal bowl or a bowl with a mirrored inside, and they fill it full of water instead of using the black mirror. So that'll work as well. So, all right, you know what? I know we have a lot of people. I have not done this yet. Okay. So this will be a first for me. This will be a first attempt, but we've kind of been all evening prying open my my ability to see stuff way wider than I normally do. It's like this has been the metaphysical leg day for me. So let's see how far we can put this. There was a request not too long ago.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
looks like Dahlia's been looking in her coffee.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That'll work. Yeah. Coffee cup with some coffee, the kind of dark that looks like you've, blended a few people. Like if your coffee is as cold and dark as my ex-girlfriend's heart, it should work sufficiently as a black mirror.
It's in her. Yeah, she's seeing blue aliens in her Stark Industries coffee mug.
There we go.
Appropriate.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I have not tried to remotely view Mars. And we've actually talked about this before on a Rogue Council session where somebody was asking me after we did the little moon session if I could go as far as Mars, and I've never been able to do it. But I'm willing to try with the last few minutes of the show if you guys are willing. While I'm doing that, though, I want to make it clear I'm not really going to be I'm not going to be super available to, talk or focus for anybody else. So while I'm setting that up, if we get any super chats, guys, can you take care of them while I'm doing this? I can focus out.
Read them, but yeah.
Yeah, read them. Yeah. All right. Here we go, guys.
In the meantime, here I could read a short little story from my.
I was gonna say I was actually tempted to pull up the scene from Wrath of Khan as the Enterprise is getting ready to leave space dock while Corione gets ready to go on a trip. So just have James Horner in the background.
This is from the Beneath the Moon book. This card represents the moon, and it is the story of Princess Kaguya. One day, an old childless bamboo cutter came across a mysteriously glowing stalk of bamboo. He cut it open and found a lovely tiny baby girl inside. Delighted, he took her home to his wife, and they raised her as their own, naming her Kaguya. From then on, every bamboo stalk he cut down had gold in it. Gold he used to become rich and give his daughter a fine education and beautiful clothes. As Kaguya grew older, she grew more radiant, and soon word of her magnificence spread. 5 princes proposed to her, and to each one she gave an impossible task. The first was to bring her the stone begging bowl of the Buddha from India. The second, a jeweled branch from the mythical island of Horai. The third, the legendary robe of the fire rat of China. The fourth, a colored jewel from a dragon's neck, and the final prince, a cowrie shell born of swallows. All 5 princes failed, and Kaguya remained unwed. Then the Emperor of Japan proposed to her, and she denied even him. That summer, Kaguya grew restless and anxious, visibly conflicted about some problem. Finally, like a clear lotus blossoming from murky waters, she confessed to her adopted parents that she was actually a princess from the moon. She had been sent to Earth to remain protected while a celestial war racked the heavens. But the war was over, and her heavenly family was coming to collect her. She was given the choice to stay with the woodcutter or return to the moon and forget her life on Earth. It was a difficult decision with no clear answer. Soon, the celestial entourage came for Princess Kaguya, and she chose to go with them. With tears in her eyes, she said goodbye to her foster parents. When her heavenly robes were placed on her shoulders, her tears disappeared. She forgot her parents and all her time on Earth and returned to the moon.
Okay, guys. Here we go. This is super hard to hold on to. It's like trying to hold on to handfuls of sand. If you squeeze too tightly, it all flies out, and if you don't hold on just enough, it doesn't even come together. But the planet, there are wet patches on Mars. Think of it like a mud puddle. And valleys and ridges. It's like imagine a frozen desert, but with small patches of water that slowly migrate along. The water is alive. There's movement in the water. It's like it's what's left of what was. And as I turn back the clock more and more, there was more life there in the past. But it wasn't aware of itself like we are. There's no reflection on the self. It's like very, very primitive life, but it's there. And there was something hit the planet at some point, something massive. And it just tore most of the atmosphere off, and only that which was living in the mud was able to survive, because that's all that could hold on. Guys, I bet you if we land something at Syria Planum and really muck around there, we'll find mud, and in the mud we'll find life. It won't be big, but it'll be there. There's patches in the northern hemisphere, but I don't think there's much left in the southern hemisphere. And I think there's still some of the time before the burn, before the sky fell, at the poles, especially the southern pole, deep in the ice. Ah, okay. All right. Whew. Oh, that was trippy, guys.
Oh, wait till you catch up on the comments.
Okay. What do we got?
We've got
Here
a
we
new
go.
apprentice.
I got Dahlia seeing bricks. Yeah, so here we go. Where are we going here? Okay. Here we go. Dahlia decided to go with. All right, that's cool. Say hi to Marvin. Yeah, well. Here we go. Yeah, desert. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was red. It's more like a brown. It's like, at least at that time, right? Here we go. I'm not seeing water. Maybe on a different part of Mars. Maybe. You see bricks. Okay, I didn't run into that, but that's possible. Square bricks, very big ones, and they're broken like rubble, like ruins or something. I didn't run into that. Sounds like a giant space amoeba, maybe. I wouldn't say giant space amoeba. I would say bigger than an amoeba. Well, like we're talking like the very, very small bugs, like the very, very small ones. I see a structure that's crumbled, but it looks like it was made of something intelligent, like geometric. I didn't see that, but that's cool. PD, very cool.
Yeah, that's all I got was, yeah, when you were talking about seeing like a past civilization, there was definitely some kind of notion there, and then she was apparently seeing bricks, so.
Yeah, I may not have been in the same space, so I don't know, but I just relayed what I saw, right? There's a big stone wall with a square window cut into it. It was like a castle or a fort or something at one time, maybe a temple. That wasn't what I experienced, but it's cool that you guys did. I see runes and sand and rocks on my end, like something was here, but horrible disaster happened. I don't sense anything big here. Okay. But like deserts on Earth, the life could be hidden. Yeah, okay, there we go. I see something like a mushroom cloud happened here. It was artificial. I didn't see that. I saw big fire coming in from on high. Yeah. There's still something.
Kind of be the same thing still. I mean,
maybe, right?
That is, I would imagine if you're on the ground seeing a nuclear bomb go off, that's probably what you would see is big fire from on high.
Maybe. There's still something alive here, but very small, like tadpoles or something, but I can't see it. I just feel like there's life in this desert. Okay. Cool. And it really looks like Earth. The same rocks, the same dirts without plants. Looks like Nevada. A little bit. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. That got weird. Yeah, fair enough. Here we go. Got bad vibes. Like there's pain in the past. Many things died there. That I got. I had to bail out because things got weird. I saw some bricks that looked melted by the intense heat. Again, I didn't see bricks, but I definitely saw melted everything. There we go.
So either two different areas or two different time periods.
Yeah, possibly, right? Weird. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Nemesis of Eden throwing another $5 to our tonight's charity children's play. That is awesome. I think it went excellent for the first time. Thanks, Corion. Well, thank you. That was amazing. Yeah, there we go. And then there's some connection. Yeah, there's definitely a connection. I don't know whether it's made by us or made in the past or whatever, but there is a connection.
I got a good one for you. I got one for it's from the Christian theology. But it is a theory about, the Genesis, the Adam and Eve story that I actually really like, and I think it would even apply to other versions of it in a lot of ways. But basically, the theory is that the garden was actually Mars, and that the expulsion from paradise was being kicked out of Mars and then back to Earth.
Oh,
And that
that's a cool
supposedly,
idea.
yeah, right? Like that was actually what being expelled. So the garden never existed on Earth, and that's why Earth is the sort of more purgatory place that it is. And then of course Mars might be where the new heaven and new earth come into play.
particular belief if you subscribe to that. Me, I know I say I'm a Christian, but I mean that in the literal sense of like following Jesus at this point. As far as the way things go and how everything turns out, I like being more open-minded and spiritual about it because I live in the now, and I was told to live in the now, and that's where we all exist, is in the now, and so that's what matters. How this all goes down and what apocalypse comes and which religion turns out to be right, I'll have forever to figure that one out.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen, we have hit the end of our program for the night. I want to thank everyone who donated so generously to helping us out with our charity this time. Guys, you've done a wonderful thing, and I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for being here, engaging in some fun, some entertainment, some weirdness, and giving so generously. You really helped out. In the comment section for the video, I have put a link where if you want to donate up until, I believe I'm going to leave that up until, until November 3rd. I'm going to leave the link viable and active. If you want to still donate, just go ahead and put it in there and we will go ahead and do that. Additionally, if you guys like the way I do readings and provide them, the top tier of my channel membership does involve spiritual counseling, so you can ask for rune readings privately in there if you should so wish. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for having fun with us tonight. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Guys, have a wonderful night. Take care, and have a blessed Samhain and a happy Halloween. Or if you don't celebrate any of those, look, just have a great end of fall. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cheers.